Chinese into English, and some things don't necessarily translate. Like one of my predictions for last year was a devastating earthquake at the tail end of August, and what I actually saw was fire and flames, and and I'll be candid, my assumption was that these were created by earthquake. But interestingly enough, if we look back at historical data, Los Angeles did have an earthquake in late August. It was 4.5, not devastating, but what did occur was the fires.
The fire, yeah, well, definitely.
Which devastated Southern California. All right.
How would you like to begin for what do you see for this year, 2008? Now, we've got a barrage of questions being asked in the chat room. Great questions by everyone.
Well, go ahead.
Appreciate that.
Let's just field the questions first.
Sure. Let's start here up at the top. Let's see what we got here. Okay, we've already answered or addressed the King of Jordan, dream, visions. Dr. Stephen Hairfield, what do you pick up regarding major contact with ETs or extraterrestrials, aliens? Are we in any time soon going to make contact?
Well, the first thing I would say to the questioner is the ETs are a lot more intelligent than we are. I mean, if they can travel the universe and get to our world, they can see how warring we are. They're coming, is my response, but I'm not so sure that we will actually have what you could say close and personal contact this year. In fact, I would say the odds are absolutely against it.
The odds, I'm sorry, say that again.
The odds are absolutely against it for this year, for 2008. The human mind is, look, we're still, a lot of the things that are going on in the world are defying human comprehension. But the interesting thing about that, I mean, look at weather. I mean, tornadoes. Do you realize on Monday there were 36 tornadoes that hit the Midwest?
Yes, I do. You brought up,
excuse me. There were 24 tornadoes. 24.
Okay. That
devastated the Midwest in January.
Mm-hmm.
Unheard of. And you've lived in the Midwest, so you know.
Absolutely. I mean, and now in the spring, sure, you're going to have that every year. It's just the way the wind usually works.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, to have it in the dead of winter, it's very rare.
Right. All right. But my point in that is we're seeing things that are starting to defy our ability to comprehend. Even the media is now starting to refer to the weather as wicked weather. And that it's absolutely weird. So the place where I'm going for the listeners is simply this, that as our comprehension becomes defied, it expands. And as it expands, our ability to comprehend greater things and greater principles is increased. So as far as extraterrestrials actually landing on the planet this year, I would be totally shocked. I believe in their crop circles they're attempting to communicate with us to have us understand higher comprehension, higher levels of vibration, but they're not quite ready yet to contact a society, a world that would, it'd be like the day the Earth stood still.
I tell you what, that leads us into the next part of the questions that are being asked. Will all government and political office finally confess for the years of cover-ups?
Do you remember what I termed last year, asked Chad, when I was asked by George Nuri?
The year of deception, I think.
Yes, the year of deception. If you were to ask me to put this year in one word, I would call it the year of exposure. Now, when we look at the idea, in fact, everything about me says that this is the year of comprehending truth. So when we look at exposure, that can go in a variety of directions. The idea of exposure could be what the government's been up to for the last 4,000 years. They haven't been around that long.
Yeah, I'd say 4,000 years. That sounds about right.
But it's also what we have been deceiving our personal selves with. So when we look at the year of exposure, it's both personal and collective. So I would tend to say yes, there's a lot of things that are going to come out this year about government. Even when we look at politics right now, I mean, a 2-year-long campaign, for goodness sakes. I am about ready to throw up over that idea.
Well, let's tackle that one first, too, as well. Do you have any insight into who you see as the next president?
Yeah, and she scares the daylights out of me.
I don't know. Barack's pretty good.
It's not about Barack. Yeah, he is. But what happened in New Hampshire yesterday? You got to understand, when they did this in Iowa, it's what's known as a caucus, which means it's who do you like, who do you don't like, but it doesn't count. But what happened in New Hampshire was a primary, and Hillary picked up delegates that could actually end up electing her as president.
Yes.
That's
so
different.
Do you see her as the next president?
Like I said, she's the one that scares me.
Okay.
And I'm absolutely hoping beyond hope that does not occur. Now, hear the way I just said that. I'm hoping beyond hope that does not occur. I'm not against women. To me, the person that should run our country is a person that is qualified completely and totally, because we're talking about international affairs. She keeps talking as an example about her experience as what? The First Lady? Come on, everybody out there. She has no experience at running a country. None.
She did a good job for, 8 years?
Who?
Hillary.
Hillary? Excuse me. She was the First Lady.
I know, but she's already been president. Anyone who's in a relationship, Stephen, knows that the woman is ruling that relationship. I don't care if you're the president of the free world or not. You know what I'm saying?
Well, but the point is she wasn't actually in, I know you are, but she was not in the driver's seat, which is the issue.
Yeah,
she was not out there talking to Yasser Arafat. She wasn't out there talking to Osama bin Laden. She wasn't out there doing anything. Really? But she keeps talking about her experience. You know, let's look back historically. John Kennedy was accused of not having enough experience, yet he was elected. If I were to use my logic, I would say Barack Obama would be a much better president than Hillary Clinton if I was limited to the choice between the two.
Right.
You see, there's an interesting thing that goes on out there when it comes to the notion of politics, and that's this. Anybody that's out there talking literally the truth is not going to be elected.
Well, that's true. Some other questions from the chat room here. Stephen, do you do readings for people, like Edgare Cacye did readings for people?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
All right. And if anybody is interested in readings, you can actually read the letter that was issued by ARE, the Edgare Cacye Foundation, because to become a member and to work on their panel for a period of 7 years, you have to receive, quote, an excellent rating. The letter is there, and as Chad knows, because he put it up there. And I absolutely enjoy reading for people and having them understand their lives. And on any level, I'm able to look into a person's life and show them where they're going. And I actually read for people all over the world, as far away as South Africa, Australia. Just read for a wonderful person from Italy about a week ago now. But yeah, I do that. And to find out about the readings, you can check my website at www.hairfield.com and click on counseling, because that's where the information sits. You can even, I do believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Chad, you can read referral letters. I've even done them live. If you remember the gal that I projected, and I remember you asking me, what, are you crazy? Yeah. The gal that wanted to know if she was going to become pregnant, as you know.
Well, I was on Coast to Coast here in front of 14 million people, and this woman calls in and says, I want to know if I'm ever going to conceive a child, and without a hesitation at all, Stephen opens his mouth and says, oh, yes, you're going to have a child real soon, even this spring or something like that, just off the cuff.
And guess who has a child and happened in the spring?
I know. And now she's contacting you asking for help.